This week, miners in Queensland's Bowen Basin will begin voting on a new enterprise agreement that's already triggered an ugly industrial dispute. Unions and the company, BHP Billiton Mitsubishi Alliance, have been locked in a battle over the terms of the new agreement. Unions say it's not about money, but about safety and workers' rights. BHP Mitsubishi says one of its 7 mines has already fallen victim to the dispute. The company has won the right to conduct a vote on the new agreement, but doesn't expect its workforce to vote in its favour. Amy Bainbridge travelled to the Bowen Basin for Lateline and filed this report.
Queensland's Bowen Basin boasts the biggest coal reserves in Australia, the black gold that's powering the nation's export boom. We've travelled to Moranbah to find out what's at the centre of the bitter industrial dispute that's been blamed for the closure of one of the 7 mines operated by BMA, a joint venture by BHP Billiton and Mitsubishi.
The real issue, it cuts to the competitiveness, the future competitiveness of our business.
This is about a company who I believe are hell-bent on wanting to de-unionise coal.
BMA hauls 58 million tonnes of coking coal a year from the Bowen Basin, most of it for export. The coal price is good and there are plenty of jobs, ingredients that would normally help avoid a bitter industrial dispute. BMA and 3 unions have been negotiating a new enterprise agreement, but it's now in its 16th draft. At its heart is who controls key areas of safety and rosters. What are the key elements of this new agreement that you are most concerned about?
The ability of the company to have safety people or statutory people, OCs and EOZ controllers on staff when they've never have been in the past. They've always been union jobs. It's not about creating jobs for unions because they've always been union jobs at the coalface. Rosters, housing, the ability of workers to have representation of their choice in the workplace, and the list goes on.
It's our ability to have the flexibilities that we need to create a better future for our business and our employees versus the unions wanting to preserve these restrictions that have prevented us from doing this in the past. It's about us being able to provide the rostering choices, the accommodation choices, the transport choices for those people who want to commute.
BMA is the region's biggest employer, with 6,000 mostly unionised workers and another 6,000 contractors across the 7 mines. Many drink here at the Moranbah Workers Club.
Workers are going to be asked to vote on a new enterprise agreement. Have you given it much thought?
No. No, I haven't, to be honest. But, I mean, let's face it, things are taken out of workers' hands, so the decisions come from the top and you just follow what you do. But if you're a worker and you're prepared to work, come up here and work, you do what goes, and that's how it happens.
Russell Robertson moved with his wife to Moranbah 10 years ago to work in the mines. He's a CFMEU delegate and says BHP Mitsubishi wants to weaken union control and move the critical safety role of open cut examiner to be a company-appointed staff position.
I guess you suffer, and we get concerned that you'd suffer. As a staff open cut examiner, you could be pressured to perhaps, get into a pit a little bit earlier than when it isn't safe because you need to meet your production targets.
The unions only have one plan, and that is that these positions should be covered by the enterprise agreement and that these people should be paid the same as everybody else covered by that agreement. And the reality is, like the rest of what they're offering, that clearly isn't working. And we can't run our business unless we can fix these sort of problems.
Concerns about safety and who oversees it are echoed by Megan Austin. She runs a volunteer support group for wives and partners of miners.
The mining industry is dangerous enough as it is. I know it doesn't. I don't think it really matters what industry you're in, but if you're worrying from the moment your husband walks out the door whether he's going to come back that day, I think that's a really big issue for a lot of women.
The local state member has emerged as a union ally. Shane Canute won the seat of Dalrymple last month in the LNP landslide for Katter's Australia Party.
What we're about is that we're about looking after the best interest of community, the people and the workers. Yes, we're here to support whatever we can in getting the mining companies the opportunity to mine and invest, but we need to ensure that there is a balance that we have sustainable communities and also a balance there that we support the workers and the safety of the workers.
Unions are planning more rolling strikes at all BHP Mitsubishi mines in the Bowen Basin. The industrial action has already taken a heavy toll.
The mine here at Norwich Park has become a flashpoint for this long-running industrial dispute. BMA says the ongoing strike action has caused production to fall, and that's partly to blame for the company's decision to shut the mine. But the unions have accused BMA of not telling the full story.
I can understand if the mine had run out of reserves and didn't have markets, but that's not the case in this situation.
BMA has rejected calls for third-party mediation. The broader community has also been hit by the industrial dispute. Strikes put a drag on business.
It's certainly having a negative impact on the economy. People obviously don't have the spare money, so they don't spend anything. There's no extra spending. They're just trying to get by and feed their families.
As for the new enterprise agreement, the company won a court case for the right to conduct a postal vote, but admits it's unlikely to win approval.
I have remained hopeful all along that we might be able to reach a point whereby they could see the opportunity for them and us in terms of what we're trying to do. I must admit in the last month or so I've started to appreciate that I don't think that's going to be possible. We're miles apart. The last meeting we went to, we had, 15 outstanding items, now we've got 18 or even more. So it's really come down now to a line in the sand,
The postal vote results will be known in May, and then it's likely version 17 of the enterprise agreement will be drafted and a new round of negotiations will begin. Amy Bainbridge, Late Line.